real estate agent? Are you looking to acquire clients consistently so you can grow your business and your income to live a great lifestyle? This is Dave Finale and the RE Skill Builder Podcast.
And good morning, everybody. It is Friday, January. Listen to me. It's Friday, July 24th. I don't know if I was thinking behind or ahead, Jonathan. I don't know. But today is Real Estate Talk, TGIF, episode 110. That's 110 episodes with 108 in a row. We've got a couple extra episodes. And today we welcome Jonathan Martis. And Jonathan is, it's really a special time to have Jonathan on for a lot of reasons. Number one, his content, most importantly, Kleard.com, Kleard. But the other thing is that Jonathan is the first to be on solo twice. He's the first repeat guest we've had. And Jonathan was on episode 5. That is 2 years ago, Jonathan, you were on. And just to give a little background of you and me, we met at the July 2018 Inman Connect in San Francisco. We started talking. We liked what we both had to say, and we got on, and we had a nice little relationship ever since. But Jonathan, you know, there's a lot of things that have changed in 2 years. I mean, we've got this beautiful frame and everything else.
Oh yeah. And
but what hasn't changed is the name, Real Estate Talk TGIF. Do you know what TGIF stands for?
Thank goodness it's Friday.
No, man.
That's what I remember when I was a kid and we used to watch the shows on ABC.
Thank God it's finale. You know, thank God it's finale. That's what it is, right? So this is thank God it's finale. This is episode 110, and we're here with Jonathan Martis. As I said, Jonathan, you are the co-founder of a product called Kleard. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, but it didn't start with Kleard. You started in the real estate business. For all you that don't know, Kleard.com has been around for a couple of years. You actually introduced it at that Inman show that I talked about. So talk about your path to get to Kleard and everything else and what you did there, and then we'll go on with Kleard and how it works.
Yeah, for sure. So I got into real estate a few years ago, in 2016, and as I was working in real estate, I wanted to, of course, try to get some business, and I tried all kinds of different things. I tried different marketing. I tried door knocking. I tried open houses. I tried all the things that some people would say, oh, that doesn't work anymore, or this is the new way to do things. It's all online. But what I realized was, you know what? If nobody's door knocking or doing open houses or doing the things that most agents don't want to do, there has to be business there. And so I just kind of worked hard to get leads, and that brought me business. And so what I realized was, open houses still worked. I got business from open houses. And what I realized, though, was when I was hosting these open houses, the information when people would sign in, you couldn't verify it. And so I thought, isn't there a product out there that can verify this information? And so we decided to build the Kleard app, which when you download the app and set up your open house, you could actually have people sign in on the app at an open house, and it could verify that buyer's cell phone number to make sure that it's correct, and so that it's actually the device that they have on them at that time. And it also verified the email. So all this information that agents would want anyway, it would verify some of those aspects and then send it to your phone on your app so that you could have it right there at your hands, at your disposal. And from there, we allowed agents to follow up with the different tools via email or text message. And it was a secure way and a safer way to handle open houses as well, which is why we came up with the name Kleard, because now you just don't have random people coming in. There's actually some way of verifying some pieces of info about them. And we incorporated this process into the showings side as well, because my wife wanted to be an agent. She passed her exam. And then it became real, where, okay, she might go show homes or host open houses. And, so what we thought was, all right, the safety side of it needs to be pulled in. And that was part of it, where before you showed a house, you could verify a buyer right from your mobile device. And now the system would know where you were, who you were with, and at what time. and we had safety alerts built in, automated alerts. And so that's kind of how it started and what we launched in July 2018.
That's really, really cool. So so as I understood the product and have understood the product over the years, I mean, it's going to give some people some trepidation about, well, I don't want, to verify when someone comes in the open house, because let's face it, over the years, there's been that group of real estate agents that haven't wanted to really push people to sign in because they're afraid they're going to lose people, right? And yeah. I always thought that was stupid. I mean, you're doing the work and you're there, right? So what do you hear from agents as far as when someone signs in and they're going to verify their cell number? How does that work? And what do you hear? What do you hear as feedback from that?
Yeah, and so that's part of how we build our products and refine them is through feedback from agents. And the thing is, people don't want to ask to sign in at times, and then others do. And the ones that do are the ones who get the leads, right? Because if you don't know anything about this buyer, I mean, there's no way for you to follow up with them. And the other aspect is from a safety and security standpoint, it is important. And it's kind of how you handle it as well. But all of these tools that we built in, you need to use them, right? In either with our tools or other tools in order to grow your business and to get these leads and be able to follow up with them. A CRM is useless if you don't have any leads to pull into them. So, buyers can see a sign before they come into the open house that an agent can get from our website that lets them know kind of what's going to be happening, just so that they have an idea. And that was when we launched the app in July 2018. That was our core business. And we partnered with MLSs and realtor associations, and it's, the product is still on the App Store, and it's great and it works and agents are using it. But with COVID and what has happened lately, open houses aren't happening as much. But what we were doing starting in April of 2019 was working on our self-tour technology called Kleard now, because we saw that real estate's changing. Right. And we want to use our safety technology that we've built, that we've actually won awards for. And we want to make the touring process of a home even better, because as an agent, I see things from an agent's perspective, right? But I've also bought a house before as well. And so I see it from a buyer's perspective and a seller's perspective, because I've been there. And I believe as a CEO and co-founder that the way touring properties is handled now, there's too many missed opportunities. Houses are sitting on the market, maybe not right now, a long time, but in general, they could be selling faster if buyers were able to tour them more easily. And that's the technology that we've built. That's the new product called Kleard now. That's what it does, is it allows buyers to, from their app, see a sign that says self-tour on a home and tour that property after they've been verified in different ways. And the agent can just tap to approve. And it's a really cool process. It's available all throughout the US. And we think this is the way real estate should be. We think this is the way real estate will be. And we're excited about it. And it's the new way to tour homes. And I think the buyers are going to love it. The agents need to understand how great it could be. And then, we think this is the future.
So Jonathan, you're way out there with you're talking about no agents to do a showing?
So that's the thing. The agents think we're cutting them out. That's why we're unique.
That's why it's that way.
That's why we built it this way. The agent has to approve the buyer's entry into the house. So it's not as if they can just get verified as a buyer and just go in. That doesn't happen. They have to be verified by their cell phone, their email. It has to scan their driver's license front and back. And we actually just caught somebody trying to use a fake ID, and our system caught it. Our system is very robust, and we use different verification methods to make sure that this is not just some random person that hasn't gone through some sort of vetting. And the agent can be anywhere in the world and get that request and tap approve. And now they have all that lead information. They have an actual person who's touring their home. And we are partnering very soon with a company that builds security products. So now you can add a doorbell cam. You can add a door sensor to the house. And so now you know even more information about when the door is open, was the door left open, who's at the front door. collectively, what we're building is a really futuristic way to tour homes, but that's available now.
So are you eliminating the real estate agent, or are you enhancing the real estate agent?
We feel we're enhancing it.
Okay.
An agent with our technology can be in multiple places at one time. So let's say you have 5 listings and you want to show people these homes. Well, if these homes are self-tour enabled with Kleard now, then you don't have to go to each of those homes. Those homes might be in different parts of the city. You may not be able to get to them at those times. And buyers want to tour properties at different times of the day. So with our technology, the agent can approve these self-tour requests that have gone through more vetting than an agent would ever do anyway, because of what we built into it. And now you get more people touring the home. The sellers are happy because people are looking at their property. They can submit offers on the property after they see it if they want to work with that agent. And the agent gets these new leads if that buyer doesn't have an agent. So we know all this information, and the agent can grow their business that way and not have to drive to the house every single time. Really quick, a story. This was used on a house here in Seattle, and an agent wanted to show their buyer the home, but it was an hour and a half away from her. So she wanted to ask about, oh, can we submit an offer sight unseen? And the agent was like, oh, I don't know if I feel comfortable with that, but it's Kleard now enabled, so your buyer can actually self-tour it. So the agent was so happy because she couldn't get to the house in time. The buyer was able to tour the property. So we are removing a lot of pain points and friction from that process while still keeping the agent involved, because you cannot get into the house unless the listing agent approves your request. Now, for buyer's agents, they may say, oh, well, I'm getting cut out. We actually ask the buyer who their agent is and who their name is. What's their name? So the agent on the receiving end, for the listing agent who's approving the request, will see that. So for procuring cause, we help with that as well.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. So talk to me about vacant homes as opposed to not vacant homes. Are you doing this mostly for vacant homes? Because on the video on Kleard.com website, right, we see a vacant home. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to us how that's working.
Yeah. So if you can't use if you have a company, right, and you can't even use the product yourself, I believe that you don't truly believe it works. I've used this on my own home, and it's occupied, and everyone has valuables in their home, and I've used it on mine. The thing is, if it's an occupied home, we recommend have a doorbell cam, maybe have an indoor cam, something, right, just so that there's some video capture. And I have 2 door sensors on my home, so I know when the door is open, if the door was left open, when it was closed. And because they are going through these different verification steps, they, as the buyer, know that it's a robust system. It's not as if you're just sending your phone number. We're verifying that. We're verifying their email. We're verifying the driver's license front and back. And we use some really cool facial recognition technology that requires them to take a photo of themselves. And our system will analyze that it's a real person instead of just a picture of a wall or of the ground or a bush, right? So we have these different systems in place that I know are great. And when the agents find out, they'll feel more comfortable as well. But if it's occupied, put a doorbell cam up, or like an interior, maybe 2 cameras. They're really cheap now, and with the package that will be offered, when the partnership that we're doing with the security company soon, it's going to be a very low price to get in with that. But that's how you would handle occupied homes. For vacant homes, we even then, put a doorbell cam up if it works. If not, we're still verifying. You're still getting the photo of them. And you can even, if you wanted to, right, just say, okay, yeah, can you just do FaceTime with me or Zoom while you're there? So there's very easy ways, right, to solve these concerns that agents have. But the main component is, how do you get that buyer into the house in a safe, secure way? And that's what we handle. And also, we remove the agent from the situation. In some ways, it's very good, because somebody who's just touring a home that you've never met, some agents don't feel comfortable with that. So we
Right.
actually allow them to see it first, just like a car dealership. Go look at the car, see if you like it, right? No pressure, just see if you like it. Then we can talk. We feel like that's the same way it should be with real estate. Look at the house, see if you like it. From there, we can, see if you want to submit an offer and go that route. But that's how we think it should be, is an easier way to tour properties in a safe and secure way, and that the agent can then be involved more when the buyer wants them to be involved. Because some buyers, if you talk to them, we've heard from many, they feel too much pressure is there from the agent in the beginning. Even if the agent's not pressuring them, they kind of feel like there's pressure there. And we want to eliminate that as well.
So let me go a step further. You compared it to the car industry, but the difference in the car industry is that anybody can go on a car lot. Anybody can go to the dealer and look at any car, right? And the dealer doesn't know who you are, doesn't know if you can afford the car or not. Because honestly, I mean, when my first car cost me, what it cost me, $6,000, and that was back in 1981. Okay.
Yeah.
And before that, there were 2,000 and 3,000. It's still hard to buy one. Now it's a little different. Cars like 50, 60, 70, $80,000. And you got a house in some areas, it's the same price, or some areas it's $400,000, $500,000. And one of the things I've always taught my agents, my clients, my mentees is, make sure that they're pre-approved before they go look at a house. So do you think it's a good idea to have someone go into a house that can't afford the house? What's the difference there? Is there a difference there? Are you giving them some rope?
Yeah. So we definitely thought about that. And with the car dealership, what you mentioned, that is true. The difference with us is we actually get a lot of this information beforehand. Some of the questions that the buyers have to answer as part of their profile setup is if they have an agent, if they're pre-approved for a loan, what their purchase time frame is, and also if they have a house to sell. The agent can see this information before they approve the request,
right?
Which is important. So that's really cool. That's one way to kind of filter through if they would like to do that. Regarding your other question about should the buyer be looking at a house that they can't afford, so there's some buyers that just aren't pre-approved yet that might be able to afford the house. And, maybe they're just kind of browsing and just starting, and maybe they're looking for an agent to work with. They've just kind of been looking, but you can be that agent that works with them on that property, or even another one. So if they're looking at the property, they don't have an agent, kind of just starting, maybe you do want to allow them as the agent to tour the property if they've been verified, and then work with them to help them find something. So that's what we leave up to the agent to decide. And another thing for the agents is we have different resources for them. So we have a seller agreement that they can present to their seller, which goes over all the details, which lock will be used. Will it be the key box, or will it be the deadbolt? Will it stay on the home? So we have this to kind of make everything more clear for them, and so that it's kind of very streamlined and easy to use.
Okay, so let's walk back to our original conversation, talking about the Kleard app just to start. So, one of it's been interesting because every now and then over the past 2 years, I'll see something on an agent's desk about Kleard, or I'll see a Kleard sign or stuff. So let's walk through, please, if we would, the open house situation. There's a sign out front, a sign inside. Tell us that process of how that works for the safety factor and the sign-in factor, and what happens with that whole process through the CRM as they come into an open house. Go through that for me.
Yeah. So if you see a house that there's an open house for a property, and the buyer goes down, follows the signs, gets to the house, we have signs that an agent can buy and put out in the front yard, and it's lets them know that this is a cleared house, and guests will be asked to sign in for safety. And by entering, you agree to sign in. So the buyers are being informed before they come in that this is something that they should be doing. Anybody that objects to this and will leave because of that, I truly believe is not really interested in the home. And we've actually had real experiences with this, people just browsing. And one person, a very low percentage of people actually would leave. They wound up coming back with their agent. But many people understand they're going into a house, there's an agent in there. You know, will I be contacted by this agent? Maybe, right? But that's kind of how it goes sometimes. Just like online, when you try to get quotes for different services, sometimes you have to put your information in. The difference is there's an agent in there ready to help you and answer questions. So it's the process is they go into the house and they would sign in on the tablet that has a Kleard sign-in screen set up and put in basic information like they would on any sign-in sheet. Right. And once that's done, the agent gets informed when somebody taps the sign in button. When the buyer taps sign in, the agent gets notified on their phone. And when they finish signing in, the agent gets notified that they've been cleared and they see all their information on their phone. So they don't have to go to the tablet to see that information. Right. That's how it works at an open house. But what we will be coming out with later this year is a better way to even host open houses past the way we've already built it. So we're going to remove the tablet component so that when someone arrives at the open house, the system will detect that they're there once they're in the driveway, and the agent inside will be notified that they've checked in. So because they've already been cleared with the consumer app that we have, because now we have a buyer app called Kleard now that buyers can download. So now we have this big component that's important. The buyer can then check in at an open house before they get in. This is a safer way to do open houses. And now the agent doesn't need the tablet and they know who's coming in before they even come in through the front door. So that'll be coming out later this year.
Explain again how that works. I mean, the buyer's going to know to go to the kleardnow.com app, Kleard Now app.
Yeah, so this is, yeah. So the way that it works is, I'd like to show you really quick.
If you can put the your phone on the screen, you can share your screen if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, does this come through okay?
Yeah, it does.
So here's the app here. This is the app that buyers would use. So if they're going to a property, and they see that property there, right? Then they would be able to check in on this home. This is a self-tour enabled home, right? But if it was an open house, they would be able to see that house and the system would know that they'd arrived. And so they would just tap the button to check in at that open house. So that's how that works. Just like you would search for houses on different apps out there, right? Our Kleard Now app has that as well. So the open house process will be where the buyer gets to the house, it detects they're at the home via GPS, and the agent inside will be notified that somebody's arrived. So now the buyer doesn't have to go into the front door and sign in. That all happens when they check in from their app in the driveway. And now the agent inside the house will know that someone's coming in and will see their information, their photo. And so it's a much safer way to host open houses, especially with everything that's happened. And it also helps manage how many people come into the home. With COVID, there's these social distance rules, right? So the agent can now know who's coming in and how many. And so that's something that we'll be launching later this year to handle the open house aspect.
Okay. So they've come in, they've looked at the house, so on and so forth, and the open house is over. Yeah. Does the Kleard app end when they come in and register, or what does the Kleard app do after that?
Yeah, so what's going to happen is the Kleard app is going to remove the tablet out of the equation for buyers to sign in and essentially send the information for that buyer to the agent before they come in through the front door. It's just an easier way to manage sign-ins at open houses. When the agent's done with the open house, they can go ahead and end the open house on the app so that other people can't come in and check in because it's been ended, and they would end the open house that way. So it's just an easier way to handle the open house aspect without the need of two devices with the tablet and the phone. Now, as the agent, you would just need your phone, and the buyers would check in from their device when they arrive at the home. So same concept, right, that we're doing now with the tablet, but we're removing the tablet so that sign-ins are smoother and easier.
Cool. All right. So you have the Kleard app, you have the sign-in. How are you looking at this, and where are you looking at this when it comes to virtual showings? Are you able to do this with virtual showings? You're able to do this with with virtual tours and stuff. And let me tell you why I asked this question, because there's a good chance that I would be able to incorporate this in projects that I'm working on. Yes, everybody's doing virtual tours and people are doing virtual open houses with all this stuff, but there's several other products that I'm working on which require a sign-in, et cetera, to be able to capture some information. So where has your thought process gone with COVID and post-COVID?
Yeah, so we've definitely thought about all that. And so we already had some plans to incorporate video chat during tours. So the buyer would be able to choose that option if they wanted to do a video tour of the property. For now, we don't have it integrated because we're working on some other components of our technology that we think are more important, just what we're trying to get out there. But a workaround now is you can in the listing, here's a really cool thing. When you create a listing for a property for Kleard now so that it shows up on the map so buyers can find it, if it's a self-tour home, in the description, you can just put in there, this is my Zoom link if you want a video tour, right? So we make it easy to do that if you wanted to. It's not fully integrated native right now in the process, but it's very simple. You just put your link in the description if you want to do a video chat tour, and you can go ahead and do that. So that is doable. But for the sign-in portion, when they are self-touring a home, they're putting in all their info. They do that once, and then when they request a self-tour, the agent can approve it, and they get all the info. The agent gets all their info that they put into the system. And at the open houses, we still have the tablet set up for people to sign in on. But as I mentioned, we're building it to remove the tablet out of the equation, and then someone can just check in at an open house. Or if they wanted to do a virtual tour or a walkthrough, the agent would get that same information. So they would still need to send that information as part of the process as the buyer to the agent if they wanted a video tour, because we still want to know who it is, who is that buyer, right? And the agent wants to know that as well. And so that would always be part of the process. Our system is built upon verifying information of buyers before they start a showing or open house. And that's going to be the same whether it's a self-tour, whether it's a virtual walkthrough or video walkthrough. Either way, that's always going to be part of our process and our system.
So let's go and just go right into the devil's advocate section of this broadcast. So you've had a lot of objections, I'm sure, to why agents would not want to use the system, right? One would be, it's intrusive to buyers and stuff. So talk to me about several of the objections you've gotten, because I'm sure you've heard a lot of them, and this way you can walk me through those.
Yeah, so we're really pushing Kleard now at the moment. Our Kleard open house technology and showing technology still works, and it's great. But we've really been pushing the Kleard now self-tour tech. Some of the objections for that are, well, I'm just going to let any buyer in the home. And our response to that would be, well, no, you actually know quite a bit about this buyer, and more than what you would know if you met them face to face. And the other thing is, they're concerned, what if something happens to the property? Our response to that would be, something can happen to the property at an open house, whether you're in the house as well with them during a showing. And also, from a safety standpoint, an agent meeting with a buyer that they maybe don't know, we think our technology helps to at least make the first introduction in a way for them to see the house and then meet the agent even virtually or via the app, so that at least they saw the property. There's information the agent has. I think it's safer that way because we now have information about the buyer that would help kind of keep them honest if they had any ill intent. It's kind of strange when you think about how real estate operates, where a buyer can just go into a property and you know nothing about them, and you might just be in the house by yourself. So some of the objections we have are usually easy for us to answer because we know kind of how everything works. But when you think about real estate as a whole, as long as you're not cutting out the agent, which we're not doing, we're actually helping, we feel, with this, and you're making it safe and secure, the buyers want this. Like, the buyers want this. And as agents, we can't say, no, we won't let you have it. Like we need to work with them so that we can allow the process to be better. And the sellers are gonna love to have this on their home, especially if it's vacant, if it helps get their household faster. I mean, there's some companies that are like Open Door, for example. You know, Open Door's done some really great things. They're a brokerage, right? Our technology is available for any agent. So it's not as if, oh, you have to be with a specific brokerage to use what we've built. It's available now for anyone to use as an agent. But some of the Open Door homes have gotten up to 200 tours on their properties, which is amazing, right? I mean, that's just something sellers would love to hear about. Here's the activity. Here's what's been happening. Another thing that's important with our tech is when you finish your tour, you're required to leave feedback as the buyer. So now as the agent, you know if the buyer liked the home and what they liked about the home. If they didn't like the home, you'll know what they did not like about the home. So you can tell your seller. Many times the feedback is missing and the agents never get it. And the last question on the feedback side is, do you want to submit an offer? The most important part, right? And we ask them, and now the agent knows, oh, they'd like to submit an offer. Great, I'll reach out to them and help them out. They can say maybe, or they can say no. So we're doing a lot of the work for the agent in a way. And this is going to help them grow their business more and make them look great to their clients that they're working with.
I guess what happens usually with all different technologies and new technologies, I mean, people have looked at the iBuyer, they've looked at Zillow offers and Open Door, as you said, as you mentioned. You know, it's just like, you know, I think it's more of a fear, an unfounded fear that real estate agents have with these things. I mean, you know,
yeah, because it's new, and yeah, it's true.
Right. That's right. And so I want to get back to one other thing, because I know this is the kind of thing that I'll hear as time goes on. When I start talking about Kleard, it's, oh no, we have a safety thing, or we have a safety that, we have a safety app. What would you say to those that you were presenting this to, that they already have some type of safety application on their phone or whatever when they're showing houses? What would you say to them?
Yeah, what I would say is our technology is built specifically for the real estate industry. It is not an app that you hold a button and if you let go, the police get called. Those are general apps. There's apps out there that are for safety that are very general. We built this specifically with real estate in mind. So when you're using it, we know that if you're showing a property, you'll want to link a buyer to that property. We know that the showings will typically last a certain amount of time. So we built in auto notifications that if you haven't ended your showing after a certain amount of time, that there's a pop-up that says, have you finished? We have all these automated systems built in for safety and security with real estate in mind. So that's the thing, is we are, we feel, you know, the company that's specifically building technology for real estate from a safety standpoint, and we've built a lot of systems around it. So it's not just a button you press, it's rather robust. The other thing is, when you look at what we offer as a whole, we offer the open house sign-in module in our app, where it verifies information about the buyer. Right. And then you get sent that information to your phone as the agent inside the open house. So you're getting leads and you're staying safe. We have the showings aspect, so you can verify someone before a showing to keep track who you're showing homes to. And we also have a CRM built in. We have AdWorks partnership, where you can automatically have these buyers that don't have agents at open houses. You can have them set up on a marketing campaign if you have it set up with AdWorks. We have CRM integration, so you can pull in your CRM that you already have so that the leads can go into that automatically when you use Kleard. Those are just the different tools that we have. And then we have the self-tour technology, which is groundbreaking. I mean, literally, you can get a lock, set it up on the property, and with our app, after you activate it with our app, you can enable self-tours. And it's pretty amazing to be able to allow buyers to give them what they've been wanting, which is the ability to tour properties in a more easy way. And how do you think those buyers are going to think of you as the agent, right? Like, wow, this is so cool. Like all these other houses we've gone to, we had to schedule a tour with our agent and we had to wait the next day. And now we can just put, oh yeah, we are working with an agent, but we can self-tour right now. It's going to make you look great as an agent. It's going to make buyers happier. And think about it. If a buyer doesn't have an agent, you as that listing agent who enabled self-tours on the property, you just got yourself a new lead with a higher intent. It's a higher intent lead because they're physically touring the home. So this is what we want real estate to be like. And we have interest from some pretty big entities. We spoke to some brokerages that have thousands of agents, and they told us, they said, you know, we want to offer groundbreaking technology. We want to be the brokerage that offers our agents the newest tools. And so we know there's going to be big brokerages and companies who will adopt our technology. And the ones that do, we feel will definitely be ahead of the game.
That's great, man. I mean, you know, it's like I've been talking about your product since we met over 2 years ago. Thank you. It's always been, no, I mean, anybody that I know that we talk about open house, I say, what open house app are you using? I said, you got to go to Kleard.com and check this out because you're going to feel a lot safer and be able to verify it. I go through the process with them about the signage, about verifying the phone number, the email address, so on and so forth. And I think it makes a lot of sense. And now with the self-tour technology, you know, I think what you're doing, Jonathan, is I think you're ahead of the game where, you know, there's also already an app where people, you know, click on, I want to see this house, and it goes out to all the agents in the area, and whoever claims it first gets to show the house, right?
Yeah. I
believe this is a little bit safer and a lot better with the self-tour technology. How do people get in touch with you? How do they talk to you? How do they get involved with Kleard and start using it?
Yeah. So if they would like to go on our website, Kleard.com, they can go ahead. That's Kleard.com. They can go find out information there. We have a ton of content. We have videos. We have our commercial. We have our walkthrough video with the products. They can see how the locks work. They can see how the app works. They can even see the verification steps that a buyer must go through before they can even request access to the property. And another thing is too, you know, our system knows if the buyer's still at the property, like if they've ended their tour or not. So we have so much information that I think the agents, once they find out about it, they're going to feel pretty great knowing that we've thought of kind of all these details. And that's one of the agents told us is they said, you guys have literally thought of everything. And that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to address all of these potential issues that may come up to make it so that it's very easy to use and safe. But they can also connect with me on LinkedIn. So I use LinkedIn a lot. So Jonathan Martis, they can search me on there and connect with me. And yeah, that's how I pretty much use that. Social media is mostly LinkedIn, and our website is where they can find more content about what we're doing.
You know, it's interesting how we connected again to come on the broadcast, because when I first did this broadcast, you were episode 5, as I said, and I wasn't giving these out yet.
I didn't get one then. I was too new to the show, I guess.
The show was new, right? And now you found out about these. Dave, you got to let me on your show again, and here we are. We're now going to get a hat. How special is that, right, man?
I need to get one of those. That has to be part of the deal, or you know, it's not going to feel complete.
It is. And what I'd like to ask you to do, I mean, look, we do this thing with Sekou, Pyle, and our group here in New Jersey, where we do something on Wednesdays called 2K Wednesdays. And basically our objective is between 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Sekou goes live. I go on with him for a while, and we try to promote all agents' businesses by having them get contacts. And we get it as a group, more than 2,000 contacts in that 3-hour period. Honestly, over the past few weeks, we've been able to do it in less than 2 hours, and 2,000 contacts. On Wednesday, July 1st, actually, let's go back. January 1st was a Wednesday, and we did over 11,000 contacts on January 1. We were all working that day. And since July 1 was a Wednesday, we did 10K Wednesday again, and we got over 13,000 from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. So it was an amazing day. And, you know, maybe we can get you to come on and talk a little bit next week or a week after. It's 4 to 7 Eastern time. And we have agents jump on from all over the country. You know, we've had Florida agents, South Carolina, California agents, you know, come on and want to be a part of it. So everybody, it's a it's a great thing that we do, and it's all run by my buddy Sekou Pilot, and who is actually I call him the king of dialogue, and he's great with the dialogues, and he knows how to get contacts. So I want to thank you so much for coming on, and
thank you, Dave.
Everybody else you're very welcome. As a commercial for next week. Next week we have a bunch of ladies coming on. We have more than one person coming on. These ladies are going to talk about how they have excelled through the pandemic and how they have doubled, tripled, and quadrupled their business over the last 12 to 15 weeks. So we call them the Wolf Pack. We don't know what they're going to call themselves when they come on, but there'll be a bunch of great ladies from New Jersey coming on to talk about what they've done to excel during the pandemic. That's something you're not going to want to miss. I can't wait for that.
Sounds interesting.
It is. It's going to be great. Jonathan, thank you so much for coming on. Please hang out for a second as we go out, and I'll talk to you in a minute. Thanks so much.
Thank you.